I did turn it on. There we go.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, good morning.
It is 1 minute to 11. So we're just going to kill a minute while people are tuning in and the thing's loading up.
Well, we won't kill it. We'll fill it with good things. And if you received anything during worship, please put it on, post it on YouTube so we can take hold of it. There was a couple of things shared. Esther shared that God was speaking that there's a lot of stuff He wants to give. So just receive, get ready to receive. And so we prayed and postured our heart to receive. And then I feel that God is just saying, He wants to have fellowship with us. It's come to sit with us, and He loves to hear what we have to say and hear our hearts. And He's just inviting us to come and join Him that way, at that place. And okay. I
think we can start.
We can start, yeah.
Welcome, everybody. All you people in Sweden and Russia and Australia and Alaska and Hawaii and Charleswood and
North Kelowna, Transcona.
Yeah.
Morden, yeah.
It's awesome that you could come. I've got this funny-looking mic on today because I'm going to be speaking.
He's our guest speaker today. Yay!
Not a normal thing, but we'll see how that works. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Announcements.
Yeah.
I'm going to I'll start with what we're doing now, currently doing, and we are currently almost halfway through the upper room encounter, and that's the 24-hour praying for Winnipeg, Manitoba, and just coming before God with open hearts. And a praise report is that every single hour somebody is praying. Our whole list schedule is
so 24 hours a day.
24 hours a day
straight.
For 10 days straight.
For 10 days straight. Yeah, sorry.
We have someone praying for Winnipeg and for Manitoba.
And people all over the world.
And people, there's a lady from Sweden who's joined us, which is yay. But yeah, so it's there's a lot of people from this church, and then there's a lot of people from out within Manitoba have joined in as well. So I was very pleased with that. So what we are doing is we started on Thursday, and we're going to go right till next Saturday. And that's the day before Pentecost. And there's something else I was going to share too. But what it is for those who have not officially have let me know, but you still want to take part, or you are taking part as you can, but you're not on the schedule. If you want to join us, we have a couple of activities during the day. At 7 o'clock, Monday to Friday, 7 o'clock in the morning, we have a Zoom call where we go through a devotional together, where I call it a daily feed. So there's a prayer, there's a song, and there's a scripture, there's some declarations, and there's a prayer that I send out every day, and we go through it at that time. And then on Saturday, we're making that at 9 o'clock, which was kind of nice yesterday. And then at 3, I do a Facebook Live. And that's on the special Upper Room Encounter Facebook page. And then at 7, there's another Zoom call where we have a time of worship led by a lady named Sherry Schellenberg. Some of you know her. She is from Winnipeg as well. But she leads us in almost an hour. And it's very contemplative, soaking. It's a great place to come, and we just hear what God says, and we just worship him at that time. And it's a lovely time. But if you are interested and are not receiving the links, please let me know, because we'd love to have you. It's not exclusive. What I did is I put a separate link together so I didn't fill up our emails with all this stuff, or everyone at Winnipeg Christian Center email. So let me know, and I will send you the links so that you're with us as well. But on Tuesday, instead of our actual service, or what we usually do, we're going to join Sherry. So if you're looking for our Tuesday evening service, I will send everyone that link, and you're welcome to come, and we're going to just have worship time together. And on Wednesday evening, they are postponing the prayer time till 8 o'clock. So I believe it's 8 o'clock. So I'll confirm that with Franklin, because they just wanted to honor. They're delaying it. Yeah. So they're delaying it. So they're honoring what's happening, which I really appreciated. That was very kind of them to do. And I think that's it for right now. Yeah. So if you want the links, or if you want on the Facebook page, please let me know, and I'll put you on there.
Good.
And I think that's everything.
You can go sit in first class over there and...
Oh, there's one more I wanted to mention. I'm going to be sending out an email, but there's another thing. It's kind of together. It's part of the Manitoba Prophetic Leaders Group, or Prophetic Prayer Team. They're actually putting together, it's called Raise the Praise. And they're launching it on Saturday, the 22nd. And what it is going to be is just the whole atmosphere around Manitoba, Northwest Ontario, is you have all the media, you have everybody, all this and it's actually quite a heavy atmosphere. So what we want to do is shift that atmosphere. And so we are purposing to raise the praise, to praise so that whole thing, we're doing the opposite. So that whole thing shifts. And so we are all invited to do that in any way. There's a couple of emails I'll send out so that you can get a better understanding of what we are doing. On Saturdays, they're setting aside, I think it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, for everyone to do whatever it is on your own praise at the same time. But I'll send out emails, and you guys can get a better understanding of what we're doing, and so we can join in. Now I will go sit down. Oh, our guest speaker today is Glenn. So Lord, we just bless him and have fun.
Okay. We're all good, Alex? Thumbs up. Well, God gave me a word to give to the church a couple weeks ago, I thought, and I did think right. And so I brought it in front of Lana. I said, so Lana, when can I get a spot? Because we have a lot of people that we've lined up in the calendar already. And so Lana gets her spot, and then Jake gets a spot, and we've had other people like Sandy and Esther. We have Leanne coming and speaking. She's in the calendar, and a few others. So when do I get a spot? Do I have to wait for 3 months? And so I just took one of Alana's spots, and it actually worked out really good, because she's so into this, pray 12 hours or 24 hours a day, preparing and getting all the little things done for that this actually gives her a break, or an opportunity to take a breath during all of that. So I'm glad to do that. And so I scripted this, and I had it down. I have got my pages here, and I'm ready to make this like a professional TED Talk. It's perfect. And then I woke up at 1:58 this morning, because that's when my alarm went off, because I get the 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock time slot for prayer for the next, until Saturday, right? Sunday morning? Saturday morning's the last one. And then we all we'll remind each other to shut our alarms off so that the next day we don't wake up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., right? But that's what's been going on. And so I woke up at 1:58, and I just love to read Brian's posts because he gets from 1 a.m. to 2 p.m. or a.m. I get to read what he writes because every day he's had some stuff, and it's good. I think it's pretty good that we have a prophet really early on, and then we can sort of ride that wave, and that's what's been happening for me. It's been really good. I hope it's helping you guys, and thank you for Brian for doing that. So I got up at 1:58. I did that hour, felt really good about it, went back to bed because Alana gets from 3 to 4. So we sort of, it's like I've got the night shift, she's got the day shift, and we pass each other. It's that kind of thing. I do from 2 to 3, and then she does 3 to 4, and we pass each other. And I go to bed, and I sat there staring at the ceiling with God talking to me about this. Like, this was bouncing in my head already. But he started to show me all the things that he's adding to this. And he changed it up on me. And so my notes are wrong. And so all of that practicing and everything, it's going to be interesting to see how today goes. So let's pray, and we'll get into this. So Father, I thank you for the opportunity, the honor that you've given me to be able to speak. And Father, I just pray that I can do this with excellence and that you can enjoy what is said. I just pray that I can be clear, that I can slow down and be concise. Just thank you, Father, for what you've done. In Jesus' name, amen. I needed that. And you guys keep praying too. And you know what? We're going to be watching the texts or texts, I guess, on YouTube. Because I want you guys to participate in this as well, because this has to do with all of us. So what we're doing today is we're going to throw some things into a pot. And we're going to make a stew or a soup. And that's going to create an aroma that's going to catch God's attention and give him pleasure. That's it. Very simple, right? Well, here's some stuff that he gave me that I don't have in my notes. It's over and above, bonus round stuff. Our church would never have been started if it wasn't for our ancestors praying it in. And those prayers actually helped our church. We had people that made sacrifices to start a small church and grow it, and it ended up being handed over to us so that we can get onto that platform and carry on. And what an honor to be able to take what they've created, and we actually continued with their main verse of Ephesians 4:11 and 12, and we continue with that. And that's, you know, that this coming, in a year from now, it'll be 50 years that we've been doing this. 50 years. 50 years. 50 years ago, next year, I'll have been 52. Does that make sense? No, 12, I mean, right? You know, not only did God mess me up from 3 a.m., right? I haven't slept. I've been going straight through. And then I get put onto the computer to do the words for worship. And that is a joy to some people. But not everybody. I would love to see everybody do that because it's high tension. Yeah, it will mess your head up a little bit if you're caught off guard with it. Ted does a wonderful job with it, right? So, and Minik. Yeah, thank you, Minik. Thank you, Alana, for reminding me about that. So let's go into this. I'm going to use some of my notes, and we're going to see what kind of rabbit trails we take. And before we can start to cook this stew or soup, we need to understand what God enjoys. And I'm going to read a few verses. We're going to start with Genesis 8:20 and 21. Okay, so this is when Noah came out of this storm and parked his boat on a mountain. So Noah erected an altar and dedicated it to Yahweh. Then he selected ritually clean animals and birds of every species and offered them as a burnt sacrifice on the altar. And when Yahweh smelled the sweet fragrance of Noah's offerings, his heart was stirred. The aroma caused his heart to be stirred. That's really cool. And he said, "Never again will I curse the earth because of people, even though the imagination of their hearts are evil from their childhood, nor will I ever again destroy every living creature as I have done." I love that. His heart was stirred. So let's go to Exodus 29:18. Then burn the entire animal on the altar. This is a burnt offering to the Lord. It is a pleasing aroma, a special gift presented to the Lord. So that's a pleasing aroma, and he takes note when he smells that. In verse 41, it says, "Offer the other lamb in the evening," and listen to this, "along with the same offerings of flour and wine as in the morning." So in their offerings, they actually included flour and wine. It's like bread and wine, right? "It will be a pleasing aroma, a special gift presented to the Lord." And there's dozens of other verses that talk about the sacrifices and how they created an aroma. And I've put them all in the notes, and I'm sure Alana will share that with you guys. So what aroma is God looking for today? And that's in Ephesians 5, verse 2. That's the verse that I just... 5:2. "Live a life filled with love, following the example of Christ. He loved us and offered himself as a sacrifice for us, a pleasing aroma to God." I like that. So now, let's put that aside. God likes the fragrance and the aroma. Just a sec. There's some fragrances and aromas that God does not like. And I want to jump into that. Jeremiah 6:20. And that's on one of my sheets, and I can't find it. Here it is. So much for my TED Talk. I'm doing good, actually. Jeremiah 6:20. "There's no use offering me sweet frankincense from Sheba. Keep your fragrant calamus imported from distant lands. I will not accept your burnt offerings. Your sacrifices have no pleasing aroma for me." That's Jeremiah 6:20. And then if you go to Isaiah 1, verse 11 to 13, "I've had my fill of your burnt offerings of rams and your fatted animals. I find no delight in the blood of bulls, lambs, or goats. When you come before my face, who asked you to come trampling on my courtyards? Stop bringing me your meaningless offerings." So Brian Simmons made a note after that one, and I want to read that note. Brian Simmons is the guy who wrote the Passion Translation. "Outward sacrifices are empty if there's no inward reality." Interesting. And then he's got the verses Psalm 51, 16 to 17, and Micah 6, 6 to 8, and Matthew 23, 23 as references for that. God cannot be bought. He looks at the heart and requires offerings given in holiness and truth. The sacrifice of a fatted animal is an outward picture of what God wants to do inside us. He wants to kill that fattened part of us and that is stuffed only with the letter of the word, but not the humility taught by the word. Wow. Deuteronomy 8, 2 and 3, 2 Chronicles 7, verse 14, and Isaiah 66:2, and James 1:21 he has as references for that. Page 3. We're going to put that aside. Just think about that. The aroma, the fragrance, what stirs God. And we're going to jump to what is the church. The church is not a building. It's the people, right? We all know that. We've been teaching that for a long, long time. And that's why a decade ago we started with, let's do church every day of the week in our workplace. Let's change the atmosphere where we go. And let's come together on Sunday and celebrate what we've done. We've been saying that for 10 years. A lot of people have forgotten that, but we have been saying that. And there's times we forget that, and we have to remind ourselves that that's what we need to do. But we need to do that. So I do agree that there's going to be twos and threes, and that's going to make up where we're going right now. It's going to be a lot of twos and threes. But those twos and threes need to come together. They need to come together to learn. So throughout the New Testament, you've seen lots of churches. Lots of times they gathered, they came together. And that still has to happen. Some people need the hugs. Some people don't. But there still needs to be gatherings. And I have 1 Corinthians 12:28. Just listen to this. And count how many people would make up a church. First, there are apostles. Well, that's actually plural, so there's at least two. Second are prophets. Third are teachers. Then there are those who do miracles. Then there are those who have the gift of healing. Those who can help others. Those who have the gift of leadership. Those who speak in unknown languages. Are we all apostles? Are we all prophets? Are we all teachers? Do we all have the power to do miracles? Do we all have the gift of healing? Do we all have the ability to speak in unknown languages? And do we all have the ability to interpret unknown languages? Of course not. So you should earnestly desire the most helpful gifts. But now let me show you the way of life that's best of all. That's the end of 1 Corinthians 12, and it goes into 1 Corinthians 13, which we all know is the love chapter, right? And it's all about love. It's all about bringing love out to the world. But it takes all those different attributes to make up a church. And not two or three people don't have all those attributes. So you'll be out there with the two or threes, but eventually you're going to have to gather. Because when you gather, things happen. How many times in the Bible does it talk about people that would start prophesying because they were close to prophets? Like we've taught that and talked about that many, many times because that's one of the desires we have. But that goes for all the different gifts. When you're sitting around somebody that's healing people and you start praying for people, all of a sudden they're being healed because you're in that atmosphere. It takes that atmosphere. So let's look at what's happening today. Church is changing. Absolutely it's changing. I am so glad that we didn't start to grow and say, you know what, we need a new building. Let's build a building for 500 people. You know that we talked about that. As a church, were we growing as a church, adding people, and do we need a bigger building? And that seems to be the path that most churches want to go on. And they focus on their growth as their success. And for the past 10 years, we have not looked at our growth for success. We've looked at what do we have as a body that we can offer the world. And it's not about size. It's not about size at all. It's about heart and love and getting together and learning things. And it's pretty amazing the amount of people that we have in our church that can do special things. And when we crowd around them, we can do those special things because they carry that atmosphere. And we help each other that way. And I do agree that there's going to be the twos and threes out there, but there has to be those moments where they come together. It's like going to a conference. Things happen at a conference that don't normally happen at the church. Isn't it interesting, too, that in 2019, God tapped us on the shoulder and said, it's time to go back to Winnipeg Christian Center. So we were a Provincial Community Church, but it never really felt right. And when talking with God, why doesn't that feel right? Well, we're a center. We have a body, we have a family here that is so gifted, and we can carry those gifts and share them with others. And we can grow the global church. This little body can grow the global church, and this little body actually has grown the global church. This little body has actually impacted nations. God's put things on our shoulders that we didn't expect that he would, but he trusts us with them, and he's going to trust us with more. And I love that we have a tiny building. We've actually said that in the past 10 years, that thankfully we can't grow. We can invite other churches in, and they don't have to be intimidated that we're going to steal their people because we don't have room to put them. But we're actually going to be using the gifts God's given us, and we're going to be helping other churches grow, and other Christians grow, and new Christians. As this revival grows, there's going to be hundreds and thousands of new Christians not knowing what to do. They're going to love Jesus. They're going to be having a great relationship with him, but they're going to have questions. We're going to be able to answer those questions. And you know what? A lot of them are going to pass us, and that's fine. It's going to be amazing times, and we are going to be part of that. It's going to be good. I'm so far off my notes, I have no idea where I'm at. Let's go to pick a page. Go page 5. You know what? Let's read Ephesians 5:2 again. We read it once already. I'm going to read it again because that's such a good verse for today. Live a life filled with love, following the example of Christ. He loved us and offered himself as a sacrifice for us, a pleasing aroma to God. As we make our walk every day of the week, we go to our workplace, we go see our friends, we're going to carry an atmosphere with Jesus. And that is going to bring a pleasing aroma to God. Every one of us. Every little one of us. And you know what? A lot of us have been doing this for a lifetime already. We have sacrificed so many different things. And that's not just me, that's everybody in the church. You know that we used to do things like come to the church every Tuesday night? Every Tuesday night. Get in your car, drive to the church, and have a meeting, and then drive home. Used to be Bible studies. Drive here, drive there. Now, everybody just sits at home and does Zoom. You don't have to get in your car. You don't have to wear clothes if you don't want to. It's a whole different deal. And that's fine. Like, you can have church on Zoom, and there's going to be a lot of Zoom churches that are going to be very successful. But you know that there's going to be times where they have to gather. I disagree that you can have Zoom 100% of the time and be successful. I think you can do Zoom 80% of the time, and then you can gather once a month or once a quarter, but you're going to have to gather. I absolutely believe that. I just look at New Testament and gathering. I couldn't find it where it said Zoom anywhere in the New Testament. It's a different time. So Zoom churches will be successful, absolutely. But they need to gather. And you know what? We have a building where they can come gather. And we can host them and we can help them. That doesn't mean we're going to influence their church. We might just serve them. We might just unlock the door and clean the bathrooms for them and let them use our building. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying we're going into new times. And whatever we expect that they're going to be, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be like that. I'm pretty sure that I don't know what it's going to be like, and I'm pretty sure that you don't know what it's going to be like. But I'm pretty sure God's in control. That's what's important. Okay, so there I went, another rabbit trail. This is actually a lot of fun. And I'm actually going to just put this away. I think I've talked enough about that. I'll just summarize here. God loves the fragrance of a pure act. That brings an aroma to him that stirs him and gets him to bend over and listen. And then the angels start coming and watching. And stuff starts happening. This church has done that. The group of people that we have here, they've done that. And we have evidence of God watching. Just the words that we've had given to us by people who don't know us, and they just show up and they give us a word, and it just hits us between the eyes going, wow, that was God. You can't deny it. God hates the stink of an impure act. If we do something just to celebrate ourselves, that's not going to bring an aroma to God. And in fact, it'll bring a stink to God. So that's definitely not about us. And I'm not really out about branding and putting the name of us across our forehead or anything. I'm out to, I should say we are out, because this has been a we thing. We've been supportive, this church has been supportive in so many different ways, in city events and provincial events. And we don't need the glory. And I love that. And now we've gone through a season of a year and a half almost where we haven't really had people in the building. It's been, for some churches, a very tough time because they can't make payroll and they just don't have cash flow like they used to have. And you know, God has been so faithful, and our people have been so faithful, that we haven't had to lay anybody off. In fact, we hired one extra person during this time, where other churches would raise their eyes going, you did what? And our people have been so faithful, and we've been able to go and do other things. Like, there's things coming that I keep talking about, and I was really hoping to be today that I can say, our new training site is launched, that you can go online and do it. And it has been, and as of last week, they pushed the button to go live on our site, but that takes a few days for it to happen, and as of today, it hasn't happened yet. So it's any day now. And these are things that cost money, but we just know that God's in control, and it's what he wants, and so away we go and we do it. So I believe God loves the aroma of a body in unity. That's been a big thing for me, is unity. It always has been, and 10 years ago or 11 years ago, we started that, unity and presence. We really focus on that. But a body that works together, it learns together and pulls the gold out of others. That brings an aroma to God that pleases him, stirs him, gets his attention. When we move the kingdom ahead together with joy, God catches the aroma of it, and it pleases him. We've done things like City Walk, crazy things like City Walk. I can't believe that. You know, just think, someone comes to you and they say, let's walk every street of the city. I just thought that was just crazy talk, and we did it. As a church, we did it. We did every street in the city and prayed over it and blessed it. I just still, to this day, that's so astounding that we did that. Now we're doing this upper room encounters. Thank goodness it's only 10 days, but I'm enjoying it. I'm probably the only one. You guys are loving it, right? Living beyond church. Good times we had doing that, and we helped so many people doing that. Our Sozo ministries were amazing. Franklin just really knocked it out of the park with that. The kingdom culture that we did, we really helped people with that. And many other things. There's stuff that Shanna's doing now that is just touching the tip of the iceberg. It's going to be amazing. It's really going to be amazing. And there's so many other things yet that we're going to do as a body. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to ask Alana to come up, and we're going to start making this stew or soup or whatever it is that we're making. So come on up, Alana, grab a mic, and you can help me with this. And we're going to need a pot. I actually found a really nice pot, and it's an old pot. This isn't it. I found another pot, and I put it here, and it just looks majestic. It was wonderful. And God said, no, that's not the right pot. And I went, well, that's the only pot we have. I went through the building. It was a big pot. And then, wouldn't you know it, a couple days later, I tripped over this one, and that's the pot. It's a heavy, heavy pot. And it's an old pot, but it's perfect for the stew that we're going to make. And we have a bunch of ingredients here. And this is going to represent our church. This is our church. And for you people out there in Sweden, Russia, and Alaska, and all the other places that are watching, I'm going to be talking about our church, Winnipeg Christian Center. But you can take it for your church. You can take it for yourself. Every word you hear, you can take for yourself. So you don't have to just shut off because this is about Winnipeg Christian Center, what I'm talking about right here. So now, this here is the people in Winnipeg Christian Center.
When you were saying about people can take it, we're using first names. So if your name is actually the name of the person, take it. Take what we say over the name of the person. Oh, we're good. Okay. Yeah, so if you hear your name, you can take hold of what we say.
I'm going to turn this on so that we can see the feed.
Oh, yes.
And if you guys have notes, then you can put notes in here as well, and we can catch that. I want to be able to catch people. A word, a name, and I say a few things about the name. You may have some more things to say about that name, and you can add them in, okay? So you'll get it in a little bit. So our church started with a few people that decided they were businessmen. They weren't full-time ministry people. They were businessmen, and they got together during the charismatic movement, and they decided, let's start a home fellowship. So they started home fellowships, and they grew. And then they decided to leave the churches they were in and start Winnipeg Christian Center. That was the very, very, very beginning. It was actually called Washington Christian Center. But their flavor is still in this pot. Because we built off the floor that they created. All the prayers that they did are still in this pot. And we're standing on top of that and building from that point. And they started on a platform from their ancestors. So God's done so much in this pot. And this pot is starting to warm up and cook because it's not finished yet. And I don't think it's going to be finished with us. It's going to continue on for the next generation because we've had prophetic words that say that, right? So let's see what I have in my notes. I'm cheating. I got notes in front of me. Absolutely, I'm going to cheat if I can. So that's the base for our meal. That's our ancestors, our founding mothers and fathers. We also have influences for the flavor in this pot. I think I'll leave that for a bit. Let's talk about some of this. Some of the ingredients God has put into this mix. I'm going to just, as an example, I'll pull one out. And we have no notes here. We're just looking. Oh, look what I got. Oh. This is Wanda. Wanda is part of this mix. Wanda's been such a blessing. When she comes into our building, I can watch through the door. She walks in. There's an atmosphere of joy that comes with her. It's been amazing. Yeah. That's Wanda. You want to take one?
Sure, I'll take one. Ooh, who's the lucky person? Leah. Leah, she's brand new.
There's been many people in our church that don't know Leah because of this stupid season we're in. They don't know her. She's been here. She is so loyal. She is
very, very faithful. And when Leah comes, she's one that is steadfast. Like it's so steadfast. She makes a commitment and she hangs on to it and does everything she can to keep that commitment.
And she knows kingdom.
She knows kingdom, yeah.
And she's young. How old is she?
Physically or?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how old she is. in her 80s.
She lives in a 55 plus, so
Yeah.
she's over 55.
And she does circles around some of us.
Yeah.
She's amazing and such a blessing to have her
Yeah.
come in this. And she's as important as everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Rick.
Ah, Rick.
I have Rick. I'm not using last names because the people in North Carolina that are watching, they don't need to know his last name. But Rick, if you guys don't know, he's one of the best heavy mechanics, heavy equipment mechanics in the city. He's amazing. I've watched him work. I actually worked with Rick for a while, and he is an amazing guy. He is a prophet. When he comes and speaks, the room hushes because there's weight in what he says. He's an amazing person, and we got the blessing of putting him in our mix.
Yeah, and it's kind of neat too, because Rick, he works with heavy equipment, so there's this heavy work, and yet he's a very gentle man. It's really, really nice to see that.
Works with
That
wisdom.
works really well. Next, we have Ancon. Oh, Ancon, he's fun. He is fun. He's always sees the best.
Passionate.
He's passionate, and he always celebrates the good stuff, even the little things. Something happens, oh, that's amazing. So he's just one who's full of passion and joy and sees the good out of everything, every situation. So, yeah. So he brings a lot of...
Oh, look who I got.
Empty. Who would
I had
like
a
that?
few blank spots.
Who would like that?
You know what? God's been bringing amazing people. In the past 5 years, our body has grown with the people that God's put in, and he's going to be bringing more in. And we're just so thankful for these people that are going to be coming in. Mm-hmm. I'll grab another one. I got 2. Another blank one. Boy, we're growing.
Oh, we just thank you
We
for
need
the
another
people
building.
you're bringing in.
We don't need another building. Oh, this is a good one. Darlene.
Oh,
She's a new one as well. And she's as important as everybody. And she brings wisdom. I see her as somebody that is strategic. And she is going to help us in so many different ways. And she already is, just by being here. And it's not that anybody has to do anything. It's just a matter of being in the pot. You change the flavor. You add to the flavor. You enhance the flavor, and Darlene does that.
And extremely creative.
Yeah.
Even strategy in her creativeness. It's just kind of neat to see.
She could paint an eyeball for weeks.
Oh, Alicio.
Oh, I wanted that one.
Oh, Alicio. He's one of our young ones. He is full of life and adventure. And he is very much, he looks for the adventure in things.
Absolutely, you caught it.
Yeah. So he finds the adventure. I love seeing that.
He is quiet sometimes, but he is studying at that point and learning. Yeah. Heidi.
Oh, Heidi.
Heidi is so much fun. Heidi, it's such an honor to have you, to be able to say that you have helped to enhance this plot. It's been amazing. Heidi has taught me many, many things, and it's been wonderful to have her as a friend. And it's, like I say, it's an honor to have her in there. Mm-hmm. Your turn.
I love Heidi's heart of worship, passion for worship.
She's teaching Alana piano right now.
Oh, Ted. Ted. There is, a strength of character in him. Strength of character. When Ted walks in, he's solid. Like, he's solid. You walk in, and there's no moving. And so I trust Ted. He's one you can trust.
Absolutely.
Because he is so solid in with what he believes and in his walk with the Lord. And he'll actually remind us of things that you know what, how about this? Or how about we think about that? So I find him very trustworthy because of his integrity and strength of character.
And he's a leader.
And a leader, yeah.
Franklin. Franklin is a leader. Franklin has amazed me. He can quietly calm a room. He, during this pandemic, has brought peace into the world. He is a manager in a large grocery store and has helped the whole staff. He has changed the flavor in that store. And he's the kind of a spice that I want in this pot. He led us through the Sozo ministry and did it with excellence. And I can't imagine anybody doing a better job than that. Yeah, thank you, Franklin.
Yeah, it's like you say spice. It's one of those spices that's not overpowering. You put it in, and there's just this flavor that comes out, and you go, "Ooh, that's nice." Like he doesn't overpower, but he doesn't hide it either. It's awesome.
What number do you think we have in this? How many people?
Your thing went out.
Oh,
so we
that's
can't
a
read
nice
it.
one.
Yeah, Vivian. Vivian, she is and just has joined us a little while ago too. She is bold and passionate. She is bold and passionate, and there's just this assurance that she walks in, that this is the way it is. This is, and yeah, just a boldness in what she has, and her flavor is, yeah, I'm
Her
here.
flavor is
There's
excitement.
excitement, and also a bold. Like it's there. You know, it's there.
Andrew. Oh man, I've been really enjoying watching the growth in Andrew. That Andrew has turned into a man far beyond what I knew as I watch him grow. And he is turning into a businessman. And he's bringing kingdom into the world in ways that most people wouldn't be able to. He's going to travel the world. He has skills that most people don't have. A lot of people think they have the skills. He's in an area where he actually has more skill than most in what he does. And we have his flavor in this, whatever this is going to turn into.
Oh, Tom Orpen. This man, he's a father. He's got a very gentle, tender father, one that will wrap you up in his arms, and you're safe there, and you're safe.
And I have Esther. Esther is, I cry when I don't have Esther and Alana in the room during worship. And if Alana has to run to something, I look, oh, Esther's here, okay, it's going to be all right. No pressure at all. But the atmosphere that you carry into a room just allows the Spirit to move. And without many words, and I've stood beside this woman as she prophesies, and it is so bang on. It has been a joy to work with you, Esther.
Terry. Oh, she's a woman of wisdom. She has been with us for many, many years, and she's been faithful. Her and her husband, faithful, but she is wisdom. If I ever have a question, I know I can go to her, and she's
Absolutely.
And she will give me a really kingdom wisdom flows through her. Yeah.
Trustworthy as well.
Trustworthy, yeah.
She's the one that has to do her books in the middle of a pandemic. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Much grace to her.
I have Christina. Christina's down in Oklahoma and dancing and being a leader and excelling at it. And I have her as part of us. We actually help support that a bit, and she has actually affected the flavor of this. In the things that she's done, it's been amazing. And to watch the people in our body to pray for her and lift her up actually affects this, and God appreciates that. So, Christina.
I see a lot of faith in Christina as well, in what she's doing, and just what she really needs. She relies on God for. She has absolute faith, and there's no worry at all. So I really I watch that and I say, oh, that's amazing. So she's a woman of faith.
There's no possible way we can get through all of this in time. But we're having way too much fun.
I have you.
Oh, that's just me, the four-letter Glenn.
Not just you. You're amazing. You're you're amazing. Glenn is.
I'm her best friend.
He's my best friend. He is. But his flavor, he's incredibly apostolic, and I think I see that more recently coming up and growing into him. And so there's this apostolic flavor that is part of actually the foundation. He's been here since the beginning of the church. He started young and he's grown into it, into who he is now. And he is a pillar in this church. And he's one that many times when he stands up, if it seems to, when there's a whole bunch of people, when we're all here, when Glenn stands up, it's like, Dad's here. And it just brings up peace. He carries up a really good peace. He carries peace and sets us all at ease because Dad's here. Dad's at home.
You're
Is that
done?
yours? Yes, that was Glenn.
You forgot about the toilets.
Oh, his favorite job, he loves being the janitor. Oh, yes,
I'm the guy that brought in the new toilets.
Yeah.
And for you people in Sweden and Russia.
He's our maintenance guy as well. He builds.
Inside joke, I guess.
He builds in natural and builds in the spirit as well, in this kingdom. Builds naturally and in the kingdom.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Little old me. I have Barb Larson.
Mm-hmm.
Barb Larson has been around forever and ever.
Well.
in this. Her flavor has been amazing because she has brought joy into this.
Oh, yeah.
The pictures of her rolling and having to be driven home. And apparently that's going to happen with her husband as well. But I thank you, Barb. That actually, by doing that, you actually changed this church. Mm-hmm. That, doing just that, but there are so many more things that she's done. Soaking and things like that.
Yeah, she brought soaking. But I see a very vulnerability in Barb Larson. Like to be able to just let go and let Holy Spirit. That takes courage and being vulnerable to what God wants to do. And that encourages us to be vulnerable too.
How about if I just start pulling them out and we'll
just
speed it up a little bit. Monique. Monique. Wow, we
Woman
have
of worship.
so much history with Monique. And Monique just keeps, like a wine, just keeps getting better. And the things that we're seeing in worship, a lot of them have been influenced by Monique. It's been an honor to have you as part of us.
Mm-hmm. And she's a woman of worship.
Yeah.
Woman of worship, yeah. We're going to speed her up.
Wow, we're just moving ahead here.
Yeah.
Bonnie
Shedson.
Bonnie.
Edit,
That's right.
edit.
Bonnie's another one that's brought joy. She can laugh and laugh and laugh and is contagious, and it just carries on. Mm-hmm. And it's such an honor to stand in the front, watch the room when people are starting to come in. When Bonnie walks in, everybody lifts up a little bit. They get excited because Bonnie's here. Mm-hmm. I actually physically see it. And they're so excited to see Bonnie.
Mm-hmm. She's also got a servant's heart.
Oh,
Very
so
much
much.
A servant heart.
So much so.
Yeah.
She's helped us in so many ways with supplies and how to supply, and she's just a genius at that. Mm-hmm. Mark. Mark is an amazing businessman, teacher. I just see wisdom with Mark, and he's brought in a new flavor that was never there before. He's filled a spot that needed to be filled, and I'm not entirely sure what that spot is, but I know that Mark's filling it. I just know that. It's very interesting. And there's other people like that as well, but with Mark, I know that there's something very needed that Mark's bringing that we don't even know what it is yet, and maybe its time isn't here yet, but it's very, very good.
He's very much an encourager. He builds up and he supports and he encourages.
Well, this is an easy one. Elsie.
Oh, Elsie.
That says it. Hey, joy. She walks in the room and you can be joyful or not. She doesn't care. She's going to be joyful, and she is, and I love it. I love it. She's just so good.
She's a risk taker too. She'll try anything.
And
joy.
Elsie, you are so much stronger than you know.
Yeah.
So much stronger than you know, and that is
awesome.
a very important part of that soup. Roger. Roger, the guy who, he can take a puck in the knee and skate it off and come and shovel and do things that he shouldn't be doing, but he knows they need to be done. I don't think there's camps that could be still running if it wasn't for Roger. He's an amazing person. But he is faithful. He is so faithful, and his heart is so what we need. He has such a heart for anybody. It doesn't matter. He's just a wonderful, wonderful person. And to watch Roger grow has been just such an amazing thing. And he's somebody that when you throw him into the soup, he never stops adding to that. It just continually adds flavor. It's amazing.
He's a man of prayer as well.
Oh, absolutely,
Man of prayer, awesome.
Oh, a fun one. Henna. Which henna is this? There's only one henna. And she's so proud of where she came from, and she's so proud of where she is. And she has such a heart for young people. And she has taught us in that. And she gets right down to what really is important. We're so concerned about so many different things, and then you talk to Hannah, and okay, now we know what is important, and it's really healthy, really good. Really love having her.
She has a heart full of love. I think she's one that she reminds me a little bit of my grandmother, her unconditional love, unconditional love. That's an important part.
Joe.
Ooh.
And
woman.
this isn't the Joe you're thinking of. This is Mrs. Joe.
Mrs. Joe. Yeah. She's a woman of the word.
Absolutely. She has been a sounding board for me whenever there's people giving words in worship, things are happening in the church. We have a church where it comes alive sometimes, and there's so much happening that it's hard to catch the pulse of what God's saying. And she's one that I can look to and get my bearings, get where my true north is. She is one. And she's also one that I can go in private afterwards, and she'll explain Scripture, or she'll bring Scripture up. Really, really been a good part of what we've been at.
Oh.
This is a gift. Tobias.
Oh, yeah.
Tobias has been such a joy.
Yeah.
Such a joy. When Tobias was a baby, my shoulders hurt. It was a joy to carry him. And I felt it for a few days when I did, and I loved it. Because he is truly a gift. And it's been so much fun to watch Tobias. He is his own man. And he has been his own man since before he could walk. And he has a destiny. I don't know what that destiny is, but it is written all over him. More so than any other child I've seen. That's just a very, very interesting thing.
And there's something in his eyes. He does everything with a twinkle in his eyes. There's always this spark, this spark of joy, anticipation, a love, and a passion of life.
Solomon. Solomon has entered our soup. And Solomon is actually affecting the flavor in our soup already. And we've never met him.
Not yet.
Solomon lives in Africa. He's not even here yet. But it's inevitable. He's coming. He is already in this. So Solomon, we thank you for being part of us.
You know, there's something I think I'm seeing just in Solomon. It's just he's a man after God's heart, but for people. He's after God's heart for people. And so I see him moving around, and he's an expression of God's heart to the people around him. So yeah, I'm seeing him. I'm also seeing it like a David in him, like a man after God's heart, but he reveals, he's after God's heart, then he reveals and releases God's heart to the people around him.
Anna.
Yeah.
We just absolutely have so many good things to say about Anna. She's been such a joy to have in our group. To watch somebody take an evangelism course at her age, where she is doing circles around the young people, and she's doing it with joy, and she still has fire, and she drives herself to church whenever she can. And it's actually building us. It's giving strength in us. And we thank you for that.
See a tenacity in Anna as well.
Yeah.
Like she's tenacious. It's got to get, this is what we're doing, so we're going to do it, and I'll get it done.
Chris the farmer. Chris the man of many talents. Tell him he can't do it, and he's going to do it. Right? Chris has brought some excitement into our soup. He keeps it stirred. Good stuff in a good way. I mean that very positively. Chris has brought wisdom to us as well. He's helped us with things. He's a servant as well, very much so a servant. It's been a joy to watch that grow in him.
There's a lot of people in this soup. Oh.
Well, what do you say about this one? Emmett.
Yeah.
Emmett. I don't know if you remember Emmett. I don't know if you can forget Emmett. Emmett's been such a joy to watch him light up and run through the building. And he may have run into you once or twice, but it's because he has so much joy. He is a very, very fun person to be with. And he has a destiny as well. I really am excited to see how he grows.
He's also, his heart is so full of love and kindness. He just, it just bubbles up and out, and when he smiles and he looks at you and he smiles, it's not just on it reaches right through his eyes. His heart is so expressive, but his heart is full of love and kindness. It's lovely.
Well, let's get through these. I picked up two by accident. Let's start with Graham.
Oh, he's a little one.
Yeah. What do you have to say about Graham? He is a study. He's a wonder. He loves to explore. I've watched him in the building, and you can see this. His brain is always working. He's always learning things. I love that.
I think I see him too. I know he loves music and he loves worship. So as he's studying and he's learning and he's growing, what he's learning is actually going to be, I can see being released in a new and a different way of even worship as he serves. I think there's an expression of worship coming out of him that is new and fresh. He's learning now and he's taking it in, and then there's something going to be released that is maybe has never been seen before, but there's something that he carries that is unique and will bring a flavor.
And he's in here because he is affecting this aroma that is going up.
Yeah.
And this, as it's building, it's catching God's attention. It's giving him that aroma. It's pleasing him. It's actually an honor to be able to please God. And it's because we're all working together. We're side by side, we're working together, and we're building this aroma. Here's another one. Sasha.
Oh, she's little.
Yeah, and she's been actually running around the room here already.
Yeah.
We've had that honor of having her in here. And she is starting to learn us, not now because of where we're at, but a few weeks ago she was. It was good. And in fact, last week she wanted to be here, and we had to say no because of what we're at. But yeah, she is one that's going to bring joy here. And I cannot wait to see this whole family come into this room.
Yeah.
That's going to be good times. But yeah, Sasha is actually making a difference already in this flavor.
She carries healing. And see healing all in her, like especially relational healing. She carries that.
Barb Anderson. What?
Edit. No last names.
Okay, we have so many Andersons in the room. Sorry, Barb. But this is all about you, Barb.
Yeah, there we go. That's okay. I don't feel so bad now. Yeah, that's
Barb
true.
has helped guide us. She's been a rudder. She's been a sail as well, and she's brought excitement in places where we need it. And she is steadfast. She's not going to stop. She's not a quitter at all. And she's helped us get through some very, very difficult times. And it's been an honor to have her as part of our flavor.
And she keeps things very real. Like she doesn't hide things. This is the way it is, and it's very real. Let's call it like it is.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
Well, here we can finish this family.
Oh.
Cheryl.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cheryl. We've had some great meals with Cheryl. Cheryl is passionate. She knows she wants to go towards truth. Always wants to go towards truth and lets you know it. And there's times where I have to stop and go, you know what? She's right. I need to change the way that I'm saying a few things. And she's helped me. She's really helped me. And I think she's helped this whole body.
She's very courageous.
Oh, yes.
She's very, very
in so many
courageous.
different ways.
It doesn't. Things that are difficult, she'll press in and keep, and her trust in God to keep her moving is wonderful.
I got two more blank ones for the future flavor that's being added, because this isn't ending, right? They're too small. Cindy, another one that's brought joy in our family.
Oh, yeah.
Cindy has brought laughter into this room in times where this room needed laughter.
Yeah.
And actually helped healing with the laughter. And has given great words. Just, I can still hear her voice. Wonderful.
And she's a woman who, she is very, I saw a lot of encouragement and trust. She's one who trusts well.
Another blank one.
Oh, we're going to get through these, really.
Serena.
There's another family.
Serena. She says more with her smile than most people say when talking. Just your smile coming in the room changes the atmosphere and changes flavor. I miss seeing you paint. It's been a joy having you on the stage painting as well. Alex. Who's Alex?
Some strange guy.
Alex has been trustworthy. Alex has been, I don't know that we'd be able to do this today if it wasn't for Alex. He's been such a help, such a servant, such a friend, such a very, very good
And
flavor.
faithful, and faithful. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, and faithful. And he's willing to learn. He's teachable, so he's willing to learn. And because of that, there's a growth that comes along. And I believe he's doing things today that are greater than if he hadn't been teachable. Like his teachability is bringing him to places that he wouldn't normally be able to get to.
Yeah.
It's carrying him onwards and upwards.
Great humility as well. I've watched Alex go through some very tough times, but he doesn't stop. He keeps walking, and he gets through it. And it makes him a better person. Awesome stuff. How do we do, Alex? He gave me a thumbs up. Okay, we're going to finish everybody in the room.
Almost.
Shannon. Another one with laughter. Healed people with laughter. Healed people with paintings. Shannon doesn't have to say a whole lot to get what she needs to across. And she is just starting. She has got a lot of things on her plate, so much so that she had to retire. And she's busier now than ever, I think. But it's such an honor to be able to stand beside her and get things done that need to get done. Things that the normal church never thought of. Shannon is thinking of, and we're getting stuff done because of that. And that's been such a joy of what this represents, is finding out what the world needs and addressing it. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Shannon's also an incredible encourager and draws people up and out and draws stuff out of people that we didn't know was in there. So she's amazing at finding the gold and the ability and the creative part of people. Because everyone's creative, we've just don't fully realize it. But she's great at pulling that out. Okay.
We're going to do Brian. Brian L.
Lionel.
Brian, thank you again. I said this before, but thank you again for helping lead us in this prayer that we're doing at 1 a.m. It's been a joy, but Brian is a prophet, and Brian is so much more than he knows. And we're seeing it. And man, I just pray courage into Brian. He already has it. Brian is doing things that most people wouldn't be able to do, because he is willing to stand up and do something because God said so. So when God says to do something, he says, okay, that's his answer. I love that. I just love that. And you know what? If he fails, he goes, man, I'm an idiot. And then he goes and does it again and is so successful. And that helps me grow. And I thank you for that, Brian. It's so good. And then I'm going to talk about the other Brian, because we do have another Brian in the room. And he has been faithful, and he wants to come in the worst way. He just wants to come and wants to come and wants to come. And often Ted will give him a call and make sure that he can get here. And it's been a joy to have him here, and he actually affects the flavor in here as well.
He loves people, and he loves to fellowship together.
The one good thing with social media is you guys can shut this off and go have lunch and watch it later.
Yeah.
But I'm not stopping, because this is way too much fun. And I didn't know we had so many people. We're almost halfway, I think. I don't know. Dave. Dave. Do we have more than one Dave?
Yeah, we do have Dave P.
Say this is. Thank you for who you are. You have brought things into the soup that we don't know. We didn't know what that flavor was. Who brought that flavor in? Nobody knows, because you do things quietly. You're not going to out and announce what you did. You just do it. And that is so amazing. There's things that he's done that nobody will ever know. And he's so trustworthy, and he's such... He absolutely knows who he is. And we talk about that in our church, about character and who we are in Christ. Dave knows who he is in Christ. Amazing person. And he helps in this. Oh, you're looking at the chat, are you?
Looking at the chat. People are adding
Look at the next one I pull up.
Oh.
Would be Anita. Let's ride that wave. Anita is one that is a servant. And you've heard that 1,000 times, and you're tired of it probably, but it's true. A lot of us are. And it's actually a very commendable thing that you do. Anita will visit somebody, and nobody will ever know that she did. And she will make sure that people are doing all right when nobody else does. Amazing, amazing part.
Yeah, that's a pastor's heart.
Pastor's heart, yeah.
Pastor's heart. Mm-hmm. Oh, Anita's also amazing at taking kingdom into the workplace.
Yes.
She's
She
amazing.
lives kingdom.
She lives it.
Another 2 blank ones.
Oh, we're going through these faster than you think.
Jody. Jody has helped us incredibly. She brought us through a whole year. The first year of going into lockdown, she actually helped us through that with all of the regulations and everything, but also how to organize, coordinate, make sure things are done. She's been really, really helpful. She is a servant as well, and she wants to do things with excellence. She is an excellent person. Thank you for that, Jody. Mm-hmm. Isn't this fun?
Oh,
or am I the only one having fun? Is anybody saying anything about having fun? Teresa. Oh man, for some reason I see a heart. I got it after about the 6th heart. And don't stop until God tells you to stop. I love every one of them. I love it, and I hate to see them leave too, but I shouldn't be so selfish. It's been so good. And she brings words that are amazing. She is very, very good to have in our flavor. You've actually helped in such a way.
Teresa is also, whenever I'm around her, I know I'll be encouraged. There's just a bubble. You get around her, and there's this bubble that you get into, and you're lifted up, and even if you're having coming a little bit down or having a rough day, you get into her little bubble, and it just picks you up and pulls you up. So I appreciate that very much, her encouragement.
I'm concerned though.
Why?
Because Maria says she's taking notes. Roger B. Roger B., thank you for what you're doing here. It's been this, you know what? This is turning into completely different than what we had planned. We had planned to just quickly go through the names and throw them in here, and there you got soup. And all of a sudden we start giving
Well, it's like
stuff.
making regular soup. You have to chop and peel.
Oh, we're putting the love into this soup.
We're putting
That's
the
what we're
love
doing.
Yeah.
We do this together all the time. She makes the mess and I clean it up.
That's
It's
pretty
good.
much it.
Sorry, Roger. Got a little sidetracked there, but we're all right. Roger, it's been a blessing to watch you come in here and grow. And you open our eyes actually to what is coming. And it's been such a joy to see you here. And you're another one that when you walk in the room, others, they just rise up a little bit. You are a leader that's here before your time, and there's something coming, I think, that's going to be amazing. Yeah. You've affected the flavor of our soup in a good way.
Oh.
Isn't it amazing that someone on the other side of the world can change your... Melinda has done that. Mm-hmm. Melinda is constantly praying for us.
She's part of our intercessory team.
She is?
Mm-hmm. Prayer. She's a woman. She loves prayer. She's prayer warrior. Prayer warrior.
Yeah, and she has a compassion for anything, I think. It's like if you're around her, you become compassionate. She just carries that.
Yeah.
And she has a smile that will I think the wattage and the light bulbs in the room go up when she smiles. It's pretty good. Brings excitement in the soup, definitely.
Melinda helps me, reminds me to remember those that are hidden or not seen or spoken of. And she helps pull them and say, let's remember them and let's do what we can for them. So that blesses my heart.
So Betty Ann.
Oh, super well.
Betty Ann is, she has been the quiet one in the background that gets everything done and makes sure things are done. And we hear that Betty Ann's involved, and we all just, okay, now it's going to work.
Yeah.
It's been so good. And even outside of the church and things that she's in part of, it's been amazing. And she is such a cornerstone, actually, like a very, very important stone. It's been really good. And she's getting lonely on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the church here in the mornings. But we know that there's stuff coming that are gonna keep her busy. And so she just keeps coming. She's faithful. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's really good at reminding us of things that need to be done. So I appreciate that. So we don't lose out.
Joanne. Wow, did you ever bring a new flavor in this pot?
Yeah.
You are a different flavor, and I love it. I love that exoticness. That I remember my mom coming out of the Mennonite realm with my dad and my mom were Mennonite. Me, I've got 12 years of that in me. But it was a little bit on the bland side when you go to a Mennonite function. They knew spices, but their spices were salt.
Maybe some pepper?
A little bit of pepper and ketchup, maybe. That was the spices. Then I met Alana, where they didn't know what salt was, I don't think.
We use salt. A little bit of salt.
Yeah. Anyways, Joanne brought a spice that is very different and very, very good. It enhanced everything. And she's a get-her-done person. Mm-hmm. And she is getting her done. She's doing amazing things outside of the church that are changing the world, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is a leader. Mm-hmm. And she stuck with it. I so appreciate that. Another blank one. Mm-hmm. There are times when other people would have said, you know what, I'm out of here. And she may have said that, but she came back and she persevered. And she is an amazing person. I enjoy talking whenever we have that opportunity.
There's a fruit called long suffering. It's a fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
it's a fruit.
It's a fruit. Fruit of the Spirit part is long suffering. That's the patience, that whole. Yeah. So you carry that well, Joanne.
Giselle.
Oh, yay. Yeah.
Giselle is one of the newer people that we have in our body that has caught kingdom and has opened our eyes to things. Wow. I can't wait to see this revival where people come storming into the buildings, all churches, and they're going to have the excitement of Giselle. But Giselle is so much more than that. She is a businesswoman. She is very, very wise, very, very mature in her wisdom, in knowing things, and yet she could talk to anybody on their level and be very competent at it and deliver kingdom to any in society. She will be able to be in the weak and in the very high, and she will fit in. It's very.
I think she already does that to a point. Yeah.
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 Wow.
She's not afraid. She's very bold, but bold, but not in your face bold, but bold. And she comes to you, and because of who she is, your heart opens and you can receive it. So there's a boldness, but also a gentle, and there's an invite. There's joy in there. It's an invite. Come see what I have. Yeah, it's good.
Darilee. Mm-hmm. Darilee.
She's a mama.
Yeah.
Mama.
Darilee got the mic. I can still remember the days when she would get the mic and then she would talk and talk and talk, and it was so much fun. And she brought fun into the church. She brings fun into this pot. You carry that with you. And you carry that fun, and it opens people up so that you can actually minister to them. And you'll tell it to them straight. Yeah, they're really good people.
She's one with an open heart, and she'll give you her heart. You come close to her, yeah.
Bev.
Yeah.
Bev's a mother.
Very much so.
But Bev also, she has said things, I love to listen to her talk because she brings wisdom, and she brings it with experience. She's been there, she's done it. They've gone through hard times and gotten through it because they don't stop. And they've lived the life. They know what it is, and they know kingdom. They were doing kingdom long before we knew what kingdom was. And so it was kind of a joy to see her walk in the door and to find out who she is. It's been very, very nice to have Bev here. Maria is one that takes notes and corrects the spelling. No, Maria is, wow, she is anchored. She knows who she is. She has our mission statement. She has it down better than we do, I think. Yeah, she is one that is a friend that we can actually talk to as a friend. And she will let us know if something's not right as a friend. And she does it with such humility. It's so good. Yeah,
she carries honor well.
Oh,
Maria,
my goodness,
you carry
yes.
honor very, very well. And that makes, because of that, she is trusted. You can trust her with your heart because she honors so well.
Here's somebody called Ben. I actually got to work with this Ben. And it's a very hard worker. And he is one that's learning to look ahead and see what's going to be needed. I can see a servant in him where he's going to be able to run ahead and get things done so that nothing stops. There's going to be momentum, and it's going to be the Bens of the world that keep that momentum because they're clearing the road ahead, and that's a Ben. And Ben's got that. And I put him in here. He doesn't come to the church often, but he does come, and he does influence the flavor of this. And so I put his name in there. Ellis, very colorful, says this white guy, right? Just love to have her in the room. Yeah, she's absolutely 100% sincere. Just carries that without saying a word. You just feel it in her.
She also is one that will proclaim what God has done. She'll stand up and say, I have a testimony. Yes. And she proclaims what God has done. She reminds us of God's goodness, and she reminds us of how faithful God is. So she's one that stewards well the testimony.
Yeah, we forget sometimes. There's people like Ellis that remind us, which is good. Mike. I bet Shannon would have a few things to say about Mike. Mike, it's been a joy to watch you. You bring stability quietly without saying a word. You bring stability. And there's been things you've done that you probably don't even know that you've done. But this building has changed because of you. Actually, the physical building has changed because of words that you've said. I bet you don't even remember what they are, but I do. And that's important. And you help others. You're the one that does not like me talking about you. I can just hear it now. But you are so worthy. It's one of those, he's one of those silent giants. Oh, yes.
He's quiet, but he's a giant in the kingdom.
She's a much better writer than me, Mike. Okay, I got this one.
Oh, nice. You get to do it.
This is a girl named Amaris.
Yeah.
This is a girl that I'm going to take clothes shopping. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But that is a gift from God.
She is.
She is a gift from God.
Literally.
And you may not know her yet, but she has several smiles, and they will all get her whatever she wants. She is becoming a dominant force. Mm-hmm. And because of this past year, I still don't know her very well because we haven't been able to see her as often as we would like. But she has destiny on her as well, just like her brother. Mm-hmm. She was absolutely a gift. We all know that. She's a gift to the church as well. Mm-hmm. Because our whole church prayed her in. Not just our church. I think there's people all over the world doing that, but she is an amazing, amazing person. I can't wait till you can meet her.
But she is incredibly inquisitive and determined. And if she sees that there's something there to try or to experience, she will run after that. And that gets me really excited about what's ahead. What is she going to accomplish? Because if she sees there's something to experience, she will run after that.
Judy. Judy, she is, my goodness, she's strong. She is so strong. I remember one time her coming back from a prophetic conference, a prophet's conference. And I looked right at her and said, "So, Judy, who's the prophet? Is it you?" And she laughed and said, "No." And then a week later she came back. "I'm still thinking about that." And my goodness, the things that have come out of this woman have been amazing. And she's another one that, just like I said with Alana and Esther, when Judy's in the room, I relax a bit more because I know that things will go right. She's one that will carry that atmosphere really, really well.
She has a voice.
She does. She's a strong voice.
Judy has a voice.
Yeah. Malachi. Have we met Malachi?
Yeah, we have.
Once.
No, he was here for the first almost year of his life. He's
Malachi.
another young one.
That's right. You're going to have to help me with this.
Yeah. He's a man of joy. Oh my goodness, you look at him and he smiles. It doesn't matter what happens, he's smiling. He finds joy in everyone and everything. So I just see him as one that he will actually draw people to him because he finds the joy, and he finds the not just joy in what's happening, but the joy in a person. When you come close, there's a joy that he will pull out of you and let you know and pull it out. Yeah.
This is just proof that I'm such a good leader because I have people like her standing beside me to bail me out with things like this. Thank you, Malachi, for adding to our flavor.
Yeah. Hey, we're getting there.
Another one that she's going to help bail me out with.
Oh, I don't know her too well.
Bryn Lee.
Bryn Lee. She's even smaller than
Even smaller.
Amaris.
We've met her once?
No, once or twice. Yeah.
Once or twice?
Yeah.
If you have things to say about Bryn Lee that we don't know about, text them in and help the whole body out with that.
It's chat them in.
What's that?
It's chat them in.
Oh, chat them in. Yeah. That's it. Chat them in. Bryn Lee has already affected the flavor in here. She's been with us, and she is part of us. So
She's
thank
young.
you.
I'm just seeing it. You go do it, and then I'm just going to see if there's something prophetic for Bryn Lee. Yeah.
Mo, haven't seen you for too long. It's been too long, but Mo, you brought pleasure in this building. You brought joy like many of your friends, but you brought more than that joy. You brought the sincerity and You let us know when things are right, and when you have a testimony, you let us know that. And there's such a humility in the way that you do that, and it's such a joy to see that. And you affect us more than you'll ever know. So thank you, Mo.
Mo also carries incredible generosity.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Her life, she pours out her life for people, and gives above and beyond.
Sacrifice, actually.
Sacrifice, yeah. So generosity just oozes out of her. It's amazing.
And you know, every person in this pot, they have history. They've already been in this walk for many, many years. People like Mo, but everybody else in there, just in the way that they walk and carry kingdom, lifts up an aroma that God smells. They do that on their own. But a corporate thing like this does it as well, right? So Jake is one that man, he's commitment. He has things going in the background that nobody will ever know. He carries kingdom as a lifestyle, and he helps people in great, great ways. I love to chat with him about his Bible studies that he has, which turn into more like talks, I think, but they discuss things, and out comes life. And it's amazing life, actually. And he's the one that is going to be rescuing people that have left the church. I could just see that happening. He's already doing that. People that said they'd never come back to the church, that they've been hurt by the church, Jake's bringing resolve. He's bringing that back. He's showing them that the church isn't religion. Yeah, thank you.
I got just a couple words for Brinley. Creative innovation in the marketplace.
Oh, wow. Pretty good word. Nancy. Wow, it's been a joy to see Nancy. She quietly will come and quietly leave, but brings a smile with her that's gold, and has been a really, really good help in our building. She's a servant, but she's much more than a servant. I don't think she's even done what she has as a skill set. I think she has a lot to offer when this whole revival is going. She is going to be a solid person in it. And it's been a joy to have her in this family. She's really helped out with many, many different things.
And I see her very relational as well. Like even behind the scenes, very open to connect with people, which will be just so vital, which actually is already so vital. It's part of the kingdom. It's the whole relational fellowship part she carries so very well.
It was fun delivering chocolates last week to a lot of you.
Yeah.
I just remember going to Nancy's house, but Chavi.
Oh, fun one.
Chavi. Yeah, Chavi's a leader. Chavi is a leader.
He's also a father. He's young. He's a very young man, but I already see the father's heart in him. He's very caring and compassionate, but he's also very thoughtful. He thinks and processes so that what he does has meaning to it, and what he does has purpose to it. And he even does, I think, see him doing that even relationally, thinking ahead of time what would benefit the person. How can he help? What can we do to walk through the situation?
Yeah, Chavi.
He's special.
Very special.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, eh?
Tom, A. He's gonna
Tom, if I ever have a question or a need, I can make one phone call to Tom, and he will chat and talk like a father and help. And I couldn't do this. I wouldn't be here for 10 years if it wasn't for Tom. Tom has helped in such a big, big way. He's helped to structure this whole thing we have going here, this whole center. It's been a joy, but I also love the passion that Tom has to see healing come in, to see the prophetic come in, to see the different giftings come into the building, and to see the church turn into a new covenant church. And that's been his passion, and it's been people like Tom that have helped drive that. And Tom is one that he sees that we need to get better at ministry and getting healing happening, so he will go out and learn it. He will go travel the world to learn it and bring that back. Been an amazing change. He's one that has stirred this pot.
He's a faithful father.
Yeah. Oh, Sandy. Sandy just loves to see others excel. Mm-hmm. So much so that she's been helping us with teaching, helping auditing the teachings that we're having. But her heart is to see the kingdom grow. And she has been a big, big part of that. And she has so much more yet that she'll be doing. Not that we have a big workload for her, but I just see God using Sandy in a big, big way. We're getting so I can see the bottom. Really, we're almost there.
You guys are hanging in so well.
Alana.
Yay.
Alana's my best friend.
Yay.
She's been an amazing person in that she wanted to know God and she wanted to talk with God. So she kept pestering him, I think, and he started talking back. And she thought, hey, you know what? I should learn to speak in the church. So she started reading us stuff, and we listened. And she'd get better and better and better, and now she's teaching and doing much better. It's been such a joy to live with her and go through the, I can't use hell, that's not a good word, but things like walking the city. Hey, we should walk the city. Going, my goodness, I don't have enough runners to do that. But that took a few vehicles and a few pairs of runners, many pairs of runners. But we did it. We did it. The whole church did it because we were running after her. There's so many other things she's done like that where she doesn't see the size of it. She just sees that God says, I'd like you to do this, and she does the okay, and she just does it. And I appreciate that, and I will support her because I made a vow to do that, and I will. But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy watching her grow. Veronique is so much fun. Veronique will make sure that we stay level. And when things are down, Veronique will just plow through it and help us and help to get us back on track. She brings joy. And she is a friend. She's a true friend. She will make sure that you're okay. Yeah.
And she's also reminds me to be thankful for the small things.
Oh, yes.
And the small things, actually, she reminds me about the goodness of God. And just even the small little things, just God is so good in this, and I'm there. Oh, yes, yes. So she's amazing at reminding.
Eric, you would never know the things that Eric has done. But I'm going to tell you a few of them that have influenced this more so than you'll ever know. Eric went for years where he would get up at 4 a.m, come to the church and pray before he'd go to work. And he just did it. He didn't ask. He'd come, he'd have a key, he'd unlock the building, and he'd just come here to sit and pray by himself for years. Eric prayed us through a lot of things. His prayers have helped us in an incredible way, but he's also taught Bible, and he's given words and helped to capture words and assemble things. It's been an honor to work with Eric, and he is a family member and always will be a family member. Yeah. Eric. Leanne.
Leanne.
Leanne is amazing. Leanne is strong. She's gone through a lot of things and keeps going. She has great help. She married well because she is smart. She's incredibly smart. Her husband doesn't know how good he's got it. He probably does.
Yeah.
But Leanne is just coming into being. She has an amazing family. You look at the fruit of what she has. Wow. A lot of that has to do with her husband as well, because he is amazing. But Leanne does things that we're about to start to see. There's going to be fruit that starts coming.
She's also down to earth and real and not afraid to be real. In fact, some things she's gone through because she was willing to be open, actually brought a lot of healing to other people. So she carries healing as well in that. But
She carries family as well.
She carries family, healing, and also encouragement. Whenever I see her talking to other people, there's always something kind there. There's always a word of encouragement. So I really appreciate that.
Zoe,
Zoe.
fun people.
She is. I haven't seen her for a little while, but yeah, she's always full of life. Oh, oh my goodness, she
She'll light up her
she
room.
will light up a room. But she was something. If she wanted to get it done, she does.
Determination.
Determination. I will get it done, and she and use metaphor. She will move mountains. She's one.
Yep.
She's a mountain mover.
That does it. Dave. The other Dave. Dave S.
Yes.
Dave S. Dave S. is one that will do things in the background in a big, big way. And he'll go into do things that none of us want to do. And he looks and he sees, okay, nobody wants to do it, I will do it. And he goes and he does it. And God just smiles on that. He is strong in that. And he has helped. Coming to the end. Art's been a joy and a surprise to get a person with his caliber to walk into our building. And whenever he does, he's just a joy to talk to. And he has history in that he's done everything. And he's done it with kingdom. He knows kingdom. But he has such a father's heart and such a, man, he wants to help everybody. When we had the street people in here, he was the one that was putting his arm around them and had compassion for them and helping them in times when most of us, I can talk about myself, didn't really want to do much there. I had enough other things to do. Art was there with his arms around them.
Yeah, very helpful when I didn't know what to do. Like he was very helpful in that way too.
Yeah. Matthew is influencing the world. He really is. He brings a calmness. He can walk into a storm and it will calm. He has that. He has that gift. He is very skillful at different things, but he has that quiet gift of being able to quiet a storm. And he's gone through some hard times and keeps going, doesn't stop. He has the strength, the endurance, that he knows the finish line, and he's aiming at it, and he just continues.
That's very good. Oh my goodness, I see the...
Susan has been a mother. Susan has, when she first came here, she was quiet in the back right corner, standing on stage. And I could just feel the influence and strength and wisdom just oozing out of that corner. And I told her that, actually. And I still say that. I just have absolute respect. I have absolute respect for Susan. She is another one that would put her arm around anybody and just love them. because that's what they need. She's not out to whack them in the head with a Bible. She'll just love them. And she will bring kingdom in places that nobody's ever even, they don't have the strength to go there. She has the strength to go there.
And she doesn't beat around the bush, and she doesn't hide from things. She will go right into the trenches and pull up people. It's wonderful. So she'll bring kingdom right into the darkest places. That's amazing.
This is the last one.
Yay, last one. Yeah.
And it's Lori.
Yes.
It is Lori. She cleans our building. And she actually does it with excellence. To see her go through the building, she will make sure that this building is ready for worship. She's just impeccable at how she does her work. Mm-hmm. She's an amazing mother as well.
She's also she's a very caring person. She cares about, very compassionate, very caring about people. It's, yeah. Really
I may have missed a few people, and I apologize for that, but just now imagine all those people in here, and they're together, and there's unity, and the aroma that's coming out of that, God smiles on that. Mm-hmm. It pleases him, and it stirs him. Like it says in, it's a pleasing aroma to God. I just want to read one thing and then we'll close because it's almost time to close. Psalm 66. This just fit. Verses 12 to 15. You've allowed our enemies to prevail against us. We've passed through fire and flood. Yet in the end, you always bring us out better than we were before, saturated with your goodness. Come before your presence with my sacrifice. I'll give you all that I've promised, everything I have. When I was overcome in my anguish, I promised to give you my sacrifice. Here it is. All that I said I would offer you is yours. The best I have to bring, I'll throw it all into the fire as a fragrance of my sacrifice ascends to you. All you lovers of God who want to please him, come and listen, and I'll tell you what he did for me. I cried aloud to him with all my heart, and he answered me. Now my mouth overflows with the highest praise. Yet if I had closed my eyes to my sin, the Lord would have closed his ears to my prayer. But praises rise to God, for he paid attention to my prayer and answered my cry to him. I will forever praise this God who didn't close his heart when I prayed, and I never said no when I asked him and he never said no when I asked him for help. He never once refused to show me his tender love. You know, I think this 10 days of prayer that we're doing right now, I think it is helping to get rid of any of the sin, to clean us up, to get us ready for this Pentecost. And this aroma will rise to God, and it will please him. And what better reward is there than to just please God? And I think that's what we're doing as a body. And yes, we're a church, but it's not the building. We love this building. This building is a gift from God. And it's a place where we can come meet and we can mingle just like this pot here. And we can learn off each other's gifts. And we can expand those gifts. And we can use what we learn here and we can go out in the world and we can do kingdom. That's the church. And that's who we are, Winnipeg Christian Center. And I think the season's coming for us to grow again. Not in numbers as much as kingdom, the wealth of kingdom that we're going to carry. People are going to walk to us without us even knowing it. They're just going to walk up to us and say, what do you have? I want it. And we didn't even talk. It's just we're going to be carrying that because we're hanging around with each other. And that's all I wanted to bring across. I just want to thank you guys. It's been an honor to be in a church with you guys, being part of you guys. And I look forward to the days when we're together again and prophesying beside each other and healing each other and healing people in the world and bringing this kingdom lifestyle out into the world. So I thank you for that. I think it's almost 1, so we will close. Sorry for the length. God added a few things last night, and it just carried on. And we got a little bit carried away with the names in here, but it was fun. And if all you 3 people that are watching still in Sweden and Russia and Alaska, I thank you for enduring this, and have a great week. We'll be doing that 24-hour prayer for the rest of this week. Next Sunday will be a lot of fun as well. Maybe not as long, but it'll be a lot of fun. No pressure. So have a great Sunday afternoon, and we will see you next week.